Hey guys, so welcome to the Molar Conversion Lab. So we're just going to be walking around the lab and doing some calculations. So I recommend that you watch one station and then you pause the video and do the calculations and then start the video again. So let's look at station 1. It says determine the mass of the piece of aluminum provided. How many atoms of aluminum are present in this piece? So here's our piece of aluminum and you can see its mass is 21.32. So you need to figure out how many atoms are in that. So go ahead and pause this video and do those calculations. And we're going to move over to station 2, which says, does this bag contain 0.25 moles of sugar? So here's the bag. And we have already subtracted off the mass of the bag. So this mass that you're seeing right here, 8.5 or 85.63, that is the mass of the sugar in this bag. So you need to figure out, does that contain 0.25 moles or is it some other number? So that's station 2. Go ahead and pause this video, do those calculations. Let's move over to station 3, which says there's been a mix-up in the lab and a sample has been mislabeled. I know there are exactly 2 moles in this sample, but which substance is the most likely substance in the unknown sample? Is it MgCl2, CaCl2, or Ki? And here's our unknown sample. Its mass is 222.11 grams. So it's 2 moles of one of those 3 compounds. You have to figure out which one it is. Okay. Next station, we're on number 4. What is the volume of 1 mole of H2O? We need to use the molar mass of H2O. So I'm going to have to help you out with this one. If we look at oxygen on the periodic table, it has a mass of 16 grams. 1 mole of oxygen has a mass of 16 grams. 1 mole of hydrogen has a mass of 1.01 grams. And in water, there's 2 hydrogens because it's H2O. So we need to add 1.01 plus 1.01 plus 16. That's 18.02. So that is the number of grams in 1 mole of water. So what we need to do is measure out 18.02 moles or grams of water, because that will be 1 mole of water. So I'm just going to fill this cylinder up until it gets to 18.02, and then we're going to see what the volume is. So we're almost there. Okay, and I overshot it a little bit, so we're going to pour some out. And we'll put a little more in. There, that's pretty close. So we've got 1 mole of water in there. And then it's kind of hard for you to read the volume there. Can you see that the volume is about, that's 20. So the volume is about a little under 19, maybe like 18.8 milliliters. So you'll notice that's pretty similar to the mass of 1 mole of water. So that's actually the answer for this one, is about 18 milliliters of water is the volume of 1 mole. Okay, moving on. Number 5, the question is, does this piece of zinc actually have 3.5 times 10 to the 24th atoms? So here's my piece of zinc. I'm gonna put it on the scale for you. Its mass is 0.78 grams. So you need to figure out, does that have 3.5 times 10 to the 24th atoms? So you can pause this, do those calculations. Number 6, which of these samples contains the most atoms? So we're going to weigh all of these samples. We're going to start with the iron. So the mass of the iron is 0.81 grams. Then let's do the copper. The mass of the copper is 4.89 grams. And let's do the aluminum. The aluminum is 0.69 grams. So you need to calculate how many atoms are in each of those samples using those numbers we just measured. So pause the video. And lastly, How many formula units does it take to write your name in chalk? So this is an interesting question. What we have to do is we have to get the mass of a piece of chalk. So that's about 10.334. So we're just going to remember that because I don't have a pen. Let's see if I can find a pen. We'll write that down on the board. 10.334 is the mass. And now we're going to write my name. We'll just write your name. Okay, so we will be finding the mass of chalk in these two words and also this number that I wrote down. So let's go weigh the chalk again. Okay, now it only weighs or has a mass of 10.312. So we need to do 10.334 minus 10.312. And that is going to equal 22, or like 0.022 grams. So that is the mass, that right there is the mass of the chalk that I used to write down this stuff. So you need to find how many formula units, which is kind of like molecules, so it's basically the same thing as molecules, are in 0.22 grams of chalk, which is calcium carbonate. All right, so that's this lab. I hope that makes sense. Let me know if you have any questions, and good luck on the calculations.